Hey guys, this is Anime here, and today we are going to be doing the opening part to What If Goku Became a Demon. Please like the video if you haven't already and subscribe. It's totally free and you can unsubscribe whenever you want. There's nothing much else I'd like to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Slick talker since a jet. Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag. Disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
In this What If, we're going to go through quite a unique concept. I just got this idea out of nowhere and I thought that I'd see how it plays out in a What If. This story begins with Goku in the fight against Vegeta. What changes here is that nobody comes up with the idea of removing Vegeta's tail. This then means that the Earthlings are left without many options. Vegeta goes straight for the ape Gohan and battles with him with fury. Gohan is nowhere near as strong as him and leaves him in such a bad state that he can barely get up. Goku is barely able to stand and soon sees Krillin as the only one left. He shouts at Vegeta, holding a destructo disc in his hand. He roars and uses both hands for an overhead throw, hurling it straight at Vegeta. However, he leaps away from it so that it rushes past him, only cutting a few hairs off. This leaves him to charge forward, and after this happens, Krillin looks back to Goku. Defeat him, for us, Krillin calls out. He sees that there isn't much time left for him, but Goku uses Kaioken times 3, grabs him and speeds away at the very last second so that he isn't killed. He descends past several tall rocks and slams into the ground. With so many rocks in the way as well, he has saved Krillin from the attack that was to come his way. As soon as he lands, he ends up coughing out blood and is shaking from the stress on his body. He's broken it down completely. Don't overdo yourself, Goku, Krillin calls out, but Goku is in too much pain to even react. Kakarot, a low voice calls out to him from behind. If you want to kill me, just do it now, Vegeta. Leave everyone else out of it, let them live, he roars, with more blood dripping from his mouth as he shouts. Kakarot, I am not Vegeta, look up, the voice says, now coming from ahead of him. Ahead of him is a Saiyan with red and black gi and somewhat long hair. He has pale, clear skin and almost a godlike appearance. However, there's a slight darkness around his eyes and that's pretty much it. I can save your friends, I can save everyone. If you don't listen to me, everyone dies, he calls out. As Goku looks to his side, Krillin is frozen. Turning around, he coughs out and grunts with pain, but as he comes back to his senses, he can see that Vegeta has stopped too. What is this? I can give you the power to stop them, the man claims, as his eyes flash red as he does so. Fine, give me this power, anything so that I can win, Goku calls out. His son is already gone and Krillin could die at any second. He needs to get rid of Vegeta before this gets even worse for everyone else on the planet. This means that when I give you your power, your soul is mine. You shall follow my every command, he comments. Now this makes Goku a little reluctant. Just who is this guy that has appeared out of nowhere asking for him to follow his every command? I mean, he does look like a Saiyan and that makes him a little cautious, but then again, he doesn't act like the Saiyans he has seen before. He seems a lot calmer, more sophisticated, like he knows what he wants and he doesn't seem all that outlandish. It takes about 30 seconds before Goku realizes that there really isn't an option for him. He has to do this and he must do this now. Alright then, just do it, give me the power I need, Goku shouts. The man's eyes glow a bright red and Goku doesn't know this, but his glow red as well. In this same moment, the man fades into nothing and Goku stands up with not even a little bit of pain. What is this? He was expecting his body to be hurt at least a little bit. What surrounds him now is a dark black and red aura. His body is now steaming as well as his wounds are being healed from out of nowhere. Goku, your eyes, Krillin says, seeing his eyes glowing a scarlet red. However, Goku isn't bothered. His Zenkai has lifted his power level up to 20,000, but Goku's mind is still in turmoil after seeing his son die in front of him. He loses control and roars to the sky. Letting out all his power, his hair lifts and turns to the pristine golden colour of Super Saiyan. This is true power. This lifts his power level up to 1 million. However, his aura doesn't follow this same hue. His aura is a scarlet red with black pieces of ki also flowing in this aura. He fires up, leaving a dark red trail of energy behind him and he goes right in to hit Vegeta right on his large snout. This lifts him off his feet and Goku doesn't stop there. He lets out his rage in a flurry of quick but powerful punches and kicks to really destroy the prince. With such a small nimble frame, it makes it that much harder for Vegeta to throw anything back in return. Now this was exactly what he was hoping for. Goku isn't fighting like he usually is either. He's fighting in this menacing, brutal way where he wants to just inflict as much pain and damage onto Vegeta as possible. Vegeta can do nothing and is soon covered in streams of his own blood. Goku is left floating above him with a menacing appearance. He blocks out the sun from view and looks just like a silhouette of sorts. Vegeta coughs out even more blood as he's in this form, and Goku has had enough. Lifting both hands, he begins shooting down several red ki blasts that are small in size but possess insane destructive capability. They smash into the ground and hit Vegeta in various places, detonating on impact. The force behind each explosion not only shreds through his flesh but keeps him on the ground so he can do nothing at all to resist. After the massive wave of blasts, a large crater is left along with Vegeta's apish, bloodied corpse. Goku floats over him and somehow doesn't feel that same guilt that he did before. It's still there, but it feels more like he did the right thing. I mean, he did. He even starts to look down on himself for wanting to keep him alive just for his selfish desires of wanting to fight strong foes. That's evil, not this. He had to do this to save everyone around him. However, his son is now dead and it's his fault that he is. What he knows is that he has to get his son and friends back somehow. He can't just let them stay dead like this. Powering down, he rushes over to Krillin to take him in for some healing with Bulma. Luckily, he's far from death, but he is more injured than he was in canon. I mean, he had taken a few hits before Goku's power-up that did deal some serious damage. During this time, he thinks of the idea of Namek and how they can head over there to see if they have Dragon Balls as well. Goku thinks that this is a great idea, but they'll have to wait for Krillin to be healed before they go. As Goku is stood over him, he feels great sadness to see Krillin in such a state. Krillin can see the pain in his eyes and tries to get rid of it for him. Don't worry Goku, this isn't your fault. You're the reason I can even be in this hospital bed and that I'm not in a coffin right now, Krillin insists. As Goku sees this, he looks to reply but then sees him stop out of nowhere. Looking up, he can see that same Saiyan is back again. Heal him so you can go to Namek and heal your friends, the Saiyan says, throwing this black-red ball of energy toward him. Goku catches it, but it doesn't stop in his palm. Instead, it continues to float above his hand. Looking down to it, it just makes him wonder, who even is this guy? He's never even heard of anyone that can give power out like this, so who is he? Rushing forward, he goes in to try and punch the guy, but his fist just phases right through his whole body. I'm a projection in your consciousness, Goku. I'm making your brain think that you're seeing a physical person standing here, but you're not, he explains. Oh, that's weird, but what are you? Why are you doing this? Goku asks. Well, the answer to your first question I can't give to you just like that. To be honest, time will soon give you the answer. Goku isn't very good with words in these vague responses, so he isn't very sure of what he means here. However, he then gives him the answer to his second. As I will help you, Goku, you will help me, he states, with a colder voice than how he talked previously. How am I going to help you? I can't hurt anyone, Goku says, looking down with his fist clenched. However, he knows the terms. This guy is probably way stronger than him, and he bound himself into a contract with the man. He has to do his bidding, but he does seem like a nice person anyway. For now, there's nothing you need to do. However, don't think you don't hurt anyone. You just killed Vegeta, but it's for the greater good. Harm can be taken for the greater good. The man furthers, making Goku's eyes drop down. He doesn't want to accept it, but it's true. Just heal your friend. I'll be back again to help when I see that I'm needed, the man calls out, before vanishing into nothing. Goku looks down and sees a glowing red energy swirl around his hand. As it falls onto Krillin's body, his wounds vanish and he is healed. Standing up in his bed, he looks forward with his sudden sense of strength. Just like Goku, he powers up and tenses his muscles to break straight out of his confining bandages. Whoa, what did you do to me, Goku? I feel like I can go right now, he calls out, with a smile on his face. Goku is happy to hear this and they're well on their way to Namek shortly after. During their time training, Goku and Krillin focus on mental training, just anything to get stronger. One session happens and as Goku closes his eyes, he looks upon a beautiful red-brown planet that he sees through one of the windows of the ship. As he goes through a meditation session, fighting mock battles in his mind, he opens his eyes back up to see that same planet there. Time has stopped. What's going on here, he asks, only to turn to see the same man that he saw before the journey. I can stop time so that you can focus on some extra training during that time. Thank me later, the man says, before vanishing. Goku had questions to ask, but since he's gone, it seems like he's just fully gone. The man seems to have his own will, only answering questions as he wants to. They arrive on the planet and then some of the Frieza soldiers rush forward toward their ship to interrogate them. Upon sensing their measly power levels, they can see that they are all unimpressive when it comes to battle power. This gives them an aggressive demeanor and makes them attack when they don't need to. Being used as foot soldiers, subordinate soldiers of the Frieza force, any chance to boost their low self-esteem will be taken and capitalized on. One of the soldiers rushes straight to Krillin, who breaks his armor and knocks him out with a single punch. Another launches an energy wave at them, but Goku just uses a wave of wind and ki to launch the blast upwards and away from them. Finally, he launches a blast of his own that catches the two remaining fighters and sends them flying off into the waters. It creates a massive splash that hits the adjacent islands, but because the blast fires off away from them, they're saved from the tsunami like waves they can see. This blast leaves nothing left of those fighters, and Krillin gives a quick glance up to Goku. He's never seen him act with this sort of brutality. Well, he has, but only against Vegeta. It seems like that fight changed him in a way. I was holding back and now my son is dead. It won't happen anymore, Goku says to himself. Good, Goku. Save your family. Save everyone. That's what you're here for, the unknown Saiyan says from behind him as he looks ahead. The duo then begin their searches and stumble upon the village where Dodoria, Zarbon and Frieza are located. Dodoria is attacking a young kid and Goku can't stand to see it. Unlike before, his emotions aren't as controlled. He can feel his mind going haywire. He puts himself in the position of that adult Namekian who he assumes to be the kid's father. He can see him crying from a distance as he can't do anything to help. This brings him back to the terrible moment when he saw Gohan get killed, while he was being held down by Vegeta and couldn't do a thing. Goku's eyes flash a scarlet red from all these emotions flaring up, and soon enough he can't take it anymore. Standing up, he zooms down there and kicks Dodoria in his chest, launching him into a building. He doesn't stop there though, extending his hand to blast him right in his chest as well. This hit does not particularly hurt Dodoria, it just caught him off guard. Goku's power level is still at 20,000 here, so Dodoria has the advantage. Pushing right off this wall, he slugs forward his right fist and socks Goku right in his face. This knocks him down, then he kicks at his fallen head to knock him further back. Dodoria makes his fighting stance and awaits his next advance. If he tries to attack him again, he'll be sure to really clobber him. As Goku takes that hit, it only makes him angrier and he rushes right back in there. As he tries to go for a lower hit aimed at his stomach, Dodoria throws his fist to the side at full force. This throws the Saiyan totally off course and leaves an open chance for Dodoria to throw down a punch to his jaw. It lands cleanly and leaves Goku on his knees. It really shakes him up and makes the world spin for a second or two, even though he's totally still. However, he jumps back and away to land about 10 meters from Dodoria. In this moment, he cracks his knuckles and prepares for the fight. Come on then, whoever you are, show me what you've got, Dodoria beckons him in, signalling for him to advance. He's feeling exhilarated from this fight, mainly because he's winning. However, this taunt he will soon regret. Goku smiles upon seeing this. As he sees Dodoria's face, all he sees is evil, scorn. Why would he leave someone like this alive? He powers up into Kaioken with his eyes turning the same red colour from before. Krillin had seen Kaioken before and it didn't turn his eyes red. What is up with his eyes turning red all of a sudden? Goku bursts ahead with a new power level of 40,000 and wipes Dodoria's smile clean off. He smashes his elbow into his face and breaks his skull. Not only that, but he throws down several ape-like strikes with his body weight to add to their damage. This leaves Dodoria in a bad way, and after a final strike he passes. Goku lifts up with the blood of Dodoria all over his frame. For some reason though, he doesn't seem that bothered. It's all for the right thing, for justice. He then looks to his next hunting targets, Zarbon and Frieza. Evil for him to slay. Zarbon looks almost frightened, not just from this man's clear power, but from the brutality with which he employed to kill Dodoria. The man steps back with cowardice, but can feel Frieza's glare burning into the back of his head. He has to act. He has no other choice. Flying forward, making his cape flow in the wind, he goes in to attack Goku, who just steps to the side. Kaioken times 3, Goku calls out, imbuing his body with even more vigor and strength. His power lifts up to 60,000 and he shouts vehemently as he shoots a ki blast into Zarbon's stomach. Now this leaves him in a terrible state. Zarbon coughs out blood with parts of his guts now visible. Krillin even has to look away from all this, but Frieza can't help but smile. Savage recognizes Savage. This guy is vicious. Goku throws down a precise and quick punch to Zarbon's head that not only knocks him out but kills him. Looking at his corpse, he is only filled with anger. He's caused these people death, but he just wonders about the other countless lives that these devils have taken. Why should he let them live and possibly let them cause that same damage and suffering in the future? He feels overwhelmed with anger and bursts up to his feet. His signature scarlet red eyes glare at Frieza, but they switch to a cooler, darker purple followed by a sky blue. Roaring at the top of his lungs, his muscles start to buff up and his aura remains the usual red colour, although it becomes a little brighter and a paler red. His eyes switch back to red as he enters Super Saiyan, before flying straight toward Frieza. "You're dead, Frieza," Goku shouts, before he begins roaring in his advance. He wants to see the complete end of this man and he'll see to it. Aiming for Frieza, the Emperor is quick with his thoughts and lifts up his pod that he uses to fly in. Goku's knuckles hit the Emperor's pod, crushing it in one fell swoop. This leaves him to then look to Frieza himself and he manages to grab him before he can escape. He then hurls him to the ground before swinging down his arms for a strike. Just as he is inches from hitting the man, he zooms away in the nick of time before hitting Goku with a series of precise death beams. They pierce through many areas of his torso and he then flies off just before he can get defeated. He doesn't feel like transforming now, but one thing is clear, the Ginyu Force won't do anything to that Saiyan. As he flies back, only one phrase continues to get replayed in his mind. Legendary Super Saiyan, Legendary Super Saiyan. If it's not him, who is it? He had enough power to kill him in that moment if he didn't transform. His hair went a bright golden just like the legend states. Those red eyes, those scarlet red eyes. Frieza bites his lip with anger before swearing to destroy that Saiyan. I'll prove to you just how superior I am. This isn't the last of me, Frieza says upon flying off. Goku coughs out blood and falls to a knee, reverting to his base form. He clutches on the sharp pain sources on his torso before pulling away his hands to see the alarming amounts of blood sprayed all over them. As he looks for a short while, he starts to get dizzy and then collapses, left to see his vision slowly fade. Krillin has the mind to go and help, but is too overwhelmed by the bloody corpses strewn across the battlefield. Blood and guts everywhere. Goku brutally killed those two people right in front of him and didn't even seem to care about it. This isn't the Goku that he knew. However, there was no time and he'd have to help him now before he'd pass. Rushing over, he could then see steam emitting off him along with these airy trails of red energy. As he rushes in to try and see what's going on, he can see Goku healing. He can see the wound sealing up, and after a few seconds or so, Goku springs right back up as if nothing even happened. His face looks devoid of emotion for a moment, but his anger soon appears on his face. He raises back up to his feet and just looks at everyone around him. I still couldn't save everyone, Goku says, clenching his fists. Why do we have to live amongst this evil that causes all this pain and death? Frieza rushes right back over to his ship just to think things through really. He's always done this to let someone else deal with his situations himself, but this time he knows that won't be the case. He's always just sent off the Ginyu Force, sent off Zarbon and Dodoria, but he's facing a threat that now far outclasses those warriors. He'll have to pick his own battle today. Frieza can't help but clench his fist as he thinks about the image of the Saiyan, that Super Saiyan, his bright majestic golden aura swaying around him. He then curses himself for letting those Saiyans survive. He thought that by destroying planet Vegeta he'd destroyed that legend and the possibility of it being true. Out of all of the people to escape that day, it had to be him that ended up being the Super Saiyan. No wonder he hadn't heard news of Raditz, Nappa or Vegeta as they went to Earth. He had obviously killed them. The very thought of this just angered him. Goku rushes straight back to their base with the Dragon Balls that he has acquired and decides to try and venture out for more of them. Stay here and protect Bulma, Goku says as he begins to walk off. Wait, Krillin says, before you can leave. There's an awkward silence between them and Goku even looks slightly irritated that he's been held up like this. His right eye even twitches upon seeing this happen. Goku, did something happen back when we fought Vegeta? Krillin asks. What? Goku asks, perplexed by the question. He wasn't expecting to hear something like this right now, but to be honest, he started to understand its origins with greater thought. You've been acting a little different lately, Krillin says. Nope, it's just regular old me. I think it's a Saiyan power. I'm not too sure. It makes my hair feel weird and gives me that golden aura. It makes me a little bit more riled up, but it makes me way more powerful. It's the only reason I managed to scare off Frieza back there, Goku says. Don't worry, nothing has changed about me, Krillin. Nothing at all, Goku says, before blasting off. He hides the true origin of his powers, unsure of how his friend would react. In this flight, he starts to think about the fact that he really has changed. Things aren't the same. He wouldn't have been as willing to slaughter those people in cold blood like he had just done. No, that was weakness. He had to get rid of evil, and he'd have to meet fire with fire. Letting evil survive would keep that darkness in the world. He'd have to be there to slaughter them so that such darkness could be properly removed. He won't stand for it any longer. He arrives at an area with the Dragon Balls, Guru's place. He arrives here in a very short moment and then enters the place to try and get what he needs from them. Could I please have your Dragon Ball? There is someone on this planet that is causing destruction everywhere. I promise that I'll deal with him to save you all, but I want the Dragon Ball to save those that his army had killed on my own home planet. Nail finds his story plausible. He has been sensing his ki across the planet helping people. However, Nail and Guru can both sense something within him, something else. They can't place a finger on it, but it feels like this pure burning darkness, like a hellfire strung with evil and demonic energy. This puts them off slightly, but they'd much rather trust him over the demon that is Frieza. They know that nothing good will come of them giving him the Dragon Ball. They pass him the Dragon Ball, but Guru doesn't gift him with his potential unlocking powers. From the ki that he can sense from him, he can also tell that he is very strong to begin with. He isn't totally trusting of him, and chances are he'll do well without his help anyway. Goku flies straight back to his base with Krillin before setting off to complete the big job, to defeat Frieza. He arrives in front of his ship and can see Frieza just sitting in his pod drinking wine. It's clear that he's been thinking things through, but he finishes what is left before throwing the glass away. It shatters and he stands up before flying straight through the glass and shattering it. This showing of power is nothing to Goku. His face remains totally still and he waits for him to descend. Goku is your name, right? I thought of saying that looked an awful lot like you, a lot. I don't care, Goku bluntly states, cutting him off. You're evil and I have to get rid of you, to save everyone on this planet, he shouts, getting angry as he just thinks about the atrocities that this man must have committed. If it's a fight you want, then so be it, Frieza says, before wiggling his fingers. Let me tell you that this form is merely a shield used to hide my true power. I have to create forms to suppress my power so that I can actually control myself. You will be the first person other than my father to look upon this form, Frieza comments, entering a battle-ready position. He transforms and enters his mighty muscular second form. Goku still looks unbothered and makes his own stance. The battle is on. Frieza rushes forward with his knee at first, and Goku is taken aback by his great speed. The tough knee bone crashes into his nose, shooting his head back powerfully. Goku manages to control this throwing of his body with a simple backflip. However, he gets hit with a wave of subsequent strikes that he really struggles to contain and control. Goku was just flustered by his power though. Upon staying back for a good few seconds, he ups the ante and begins using Kaioken ×5. Now with a 100,000 power level, he rushes back in only to receive a hand straight to the side of his neck that nearly knocks him out. To be totally honest, the strike nearly kills him. He is sent completely off balance and the world starts swaying around him. Things really aren't looking good. As Frieza rushes in, he has his head down and he's in a full throttle sprint. He knows that he can't be holding back any longer. Releasing all of his power, he enters his Super Saiyan form and shoots off straight back toward his adversary. Kicking Frieza himself, the man does get hurt from it, but he takes this initial strike surprisingly well. It forces him a step back or so, but beyond that it doesn't do much at all. Frieza fires back toward the Saiyan and the two warriors wildly clash with each other. They begin pushing at each other as hard as they can and it seems like the fight is a total stalemate. However, Frieza is the much physically larger fighter, so in terms of raw pushing strength like this, he can gain the slight advantage. Headbutting Goku in his face, he knocks him back a decent amount before kicking straight into his abdomen. Both attacks land in a flush, powerful manner, but the Saiyan manages to block the subsequent attacks hitting him. I need more power, Goku exclaims, before punching Frieza straight in his gut. He can't tell if he's just saying this, but he said it in a way as if he was saying that to someone. It's definitely weird to Frieza, but he's in a battle, so doesn't really get much time to think over what he's just done. He fires forward yet again and attacks the Emperor, but this fight just ends up carrying on in quite the stale, slow manner. Nobody can get a clear win over the other, and Frieza is starting to get bored of using this form. He's tried his hardest to win and is annoyed that the Saiyan is putting up such a struggle even when he is in this second form of his. However, the tables are about to turn in his favour. Goku is now panting, exhausted from his grueling fight that led ultimately to nothing at all. He is covered in injuries and just isn't at his top strength. As he looks forward, he can see that Frieza has frozen in place. Looking to his left, he can see the Saiyan looking straight at Frieza. He has a smirk on his face, but as Goku turns to look at him, it swiftly fades. Look at this evil, use this power and get rid of him, the man says, before turning to specks of red light and vanishing. Goku sees steam emitting off his body and in the very next moment he can feel his power being returned to him. After this power boost, his power level is now at a whopping 100,000. Firing off toward Frieza, he takes him off guard, even with him in his third form now. He chips out a tooth with his fist alone, then chases after him in an energetic, powerful charge. Goku lets everything loose. With his sudden power boost, it's given him the motivation he needed to do what he believes is right and just, to kill Frieza. He throws a sequence of powerful mean punches to his face, throwing not just power but anger and hatred into each strike. Frieza can almost feel his stronger, bolder will overwhelming his own, and it really starts to concern him. Frieza shouts with anger and tries to hit him back with something, but is stopped right in place with a slow strike to his abdominal area. The strike does some very good damage and leaves him stunned for a second. He ends up coughing out blood, then Goku swivels around to smash his foot into his chest, launching him back. Frieza is left to tumble and roll on the floor as this happens. The pain he feels in his chest at this moment is immense. At the hands of a Saiyan, in his third form. He's nowhere near his final form, but the proportion of power that he's utilising should be able to deal with any Saiyan. As he looks up, he gains flashes of that one Saiyan who was weak but still stood up to face him. Many years later, it seems like the same thing is happening again. Yes, the same thing is happening again. Because he'll slaughter Goku just like how he killed his father, as if he's livestock. Cracks begin to appear over Frieza's body and he ascends into his final form. He elegantly lands back on his feet and the fear he felt vanishes. Goku looks upon him and fires straight back toward him. As he begins, he seems to still have the upper hand, but Frieza wishes to end things. There's no need to dilly-dally. He's had his fun with his lower states, if you can call it that, and wants to see the Saiyan 6 feet under. Lifting into flight, he gets surrounded by a powerful purple aura and stares him down with cold eyes. At 50% power already, his power level is at 60 million. The fight is easily his now. Goku can sense his power and feels quite scared. The pressure on him is unlike anything he's ever experienced. However, there's no other option for him now. Now that he thinks of it, he has that man on his side. Surely he'll just get more power if he gets overpowered. Therefore, he fearlessly rushes in. Leaping up, he throws a punch only for Frieza to slip out the way of it. Another comes his way, but that is also evaded as he just slips under with a slight flip. Dipping down, he shoots himself back up and sends his head straight into Goku's chest, breaking his ribcage in various places. Before he can get sent flying, he swivels around to grab him using his tail and then dives down at full throttle. This full speed explosive movement creates a shockwave around him, and the slam that Goku gets hit with almost kills him. As Frieza leaves him, it looks like he's dead. His mind has gone blank and his body isn't moving at all. There's a clear indent where Frieza hit him using his head and managed to break apart his ribcage. Frieza looks down and over his supposed corpse with triumph for a few good seconds, before he prepares to get the Dragon Balls he so preciously needs. Looking to the horizon, he can't wait to let some of his true power loose yet again. Goku soon sees a mind of blank. It's nothing. He can't feel, hear or touch anything. It's like his mind is in a totally different realm, surrounded by nothing but darkness. He can soon feel his mind returning to him though, and the man is stood beside him. Goku looks down at his body and can see that he still has his injuries, but he feels better mentally. It's only the pain that remains. I can see that he's troubling you. The gap between you and him is quite strong. Even with your Zenkai, you might not be able to take him down. So give me the power to defeat him, Goku please, before coughing from the injuries he's received. That's unlike you, Kakarot. To plead for power that you haven't gained yourself, the man teases, making Goku think back to what he just said. That is so unlike him. Why was he pleading for power? Well, it's all he can do. Frieza is clearly way above his level. If he doesn't get something now, the whole planet is in trouble. Don't worry, I'm just joking with you. Well, power I can give you, but this won't be an unconditional gift. I shall give you the power that you want, but it may not be something that you originally intended, he states. What sort of power? Goku asks. Just wait and see, the man says, before vanishing. Goku can then feel his body steaming and his signature healing takes place yet again. Standing back up, he feels like a new man. His muscles feel vigorous and he's ready to use them. His power level has increased to about 2.5 million from this power up, and this will be enough to wrap things up. However, this isn't the power that the man was talking about. As he thinks back to Frieza, he can feel this intense anger brewing inside him. It starts getting more and more intense and he thinks of really destroying him. It's different to the anger that he felt before. Before it was to save everyone on this planet, and it still is. But it feels different now, a little more unfounded. His eyes flash red as he blasts away, chasing right after Frieza. As soon as he finds him once again, he can see him talking to those at Namekian village. Before rushing in, he can feel his body stop and he suddenly can't move it any longer. What's happening, he wonders, feeling his muscles tense up. He can control his mind. He knows that and his face, but his body below that is just frozen up out of nowhere. Let him do what he needs to do, the Saiyan says from beside him with almost a smile on his face. What? I can't let innocent people die. I hope this isn't what you meant by what I have to do for you. The man almost chuckles upon seeing this new temper of his. However, he starts to have this almost crazed, happy look as he sees the brutality occurring beneath him. Goku feels terrified by this demonic look. Who did he sign his soul away to? You won't win if you stop him now, the man claims. I won't win, Goku asks, with confusion. He feels on top of the world right now. After receiving that much strength from this man, he's sure that what he has now with just his power level and Super Saiyan will be sufficient. It's just how things will play out. I'm trying to help you with saving the most people here. I think the first thing you must see is that you can't save everyone. Try and save every single person and you will lose people in the process. Trust me, the man states, as he looks down at what's happening below. Goku is struggling to hold himself back here, but it doesn't seem like this guy is giving him much choice in the matter. Therefore, he just waits, keeping his eyes off the murderous scene below him, waiting for the moment this man can give his body back. So that will conclude the opening part to What If Goku Became a Demon. Please tell me something you liked about this part or something that I should improve on for the next one. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.